That was too hard.
Just put it in the net!
Oh, let's go. That's club.
Sorry, can't do this.
I had to do it twice.
Arsenal will not win the Premier League if they keep doing this. Now, as you all know, Arsenal played Everton in the Premier League and we won. We picked up a good 1-0 victory, a clean sheet for the first time in about 73 years. But I don't know if it's my standards being too high or people's standards being too low, but for some reason people are actually happy with this performance. And that's not to say that their standards are wrong or mine are wrong either, but that performance, in my opinion, was not good enough at all. And it highlighted a lot of the issues that I've been saying Arsenal have been having recently, with the main one being just the absolute 0.25 speed build-up play. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of us making about 50 meaningless passes in the build-up, especially when there's times when we can play it into the next phase way quicker. There were so many times in that game where Hincapié, Shock, he's the slowest one in the back line, has so many opportunities to play it to Zubimendi, and he just doesn't. And that's because Hincapié, he's too one-footed to be a centre-back in the Premier League. This guy does not use his right foot even if his family is at risk. Because the amount of times he could have just used his right foot to play to Zubimendi and we could have advanced the attack so much quicker, he just didn't. Speaking of Zubimendi, this guy is officially on my fraud watch. I don't know what's happened, but as soon as Ødegaard has got into the team, which I'll touch on a bit later, he's been absolutely honking it. And this might sound crazy to say, but I do think that it's partly due to Ødegaard. Ødegaard and Zubimendi, they're weirdly very similar but very different players at the same time. They both want to drop deep, get the ball, control the tempo, but Ødegaard wants to do it whilst carrying the whole ball forward and making about 17 passes with the team before advancing it. Whereas Zubimendi is more of a, he's efficient. He passes it into the lines way quicker than Ødegaard does. And I think with Ødegaard sort of invading Zubimendi's space, it's giving Zubimendi less space because more players are in his space. So he's starting to get crowded out because Ødegaard is inviting more pressure towards Zubimendi instead of relieving pressure and moving out of his way. And that's why we're starting to see a lot more mistakes come from Zubimendi. That's not to say that it's all Ødegaard's fault, because has Zubimendi been poor? He hasn't been poor, but he hasn't been as good as he was when he first joined. And I think that is to do with the lack of connection and chemistry that he has with Martin Ødegaard. I think he's better off the bench in my opinion. That performance he made off the bench against Chelsea was his best performance of the season so far in my opinion. He came on and he moved the ball with so much more tempo compared to what was happening earlier in the game. But when he starts, he makes absolutely zero threatening passes. No line breaking passes. He doesn't try anything fancy. He doesn't shoot. He tries to walk the ball into the net, and that's just not what we need right now. And I'm going to be honest. We need someone who's emphatic in front of the goal behind our striker. I mean, we had that in Eze. Cool, Eze's a bit of a coaster and he coasts through games. But if you give him the ball in front of the goal, he will shoot. And a lot of the times, he will score. Or at least test the keeper. And Ødegaard doesn't do that. I don't know why he just doesn't take any risks. He's the master of looking busy when he's actually doing absolutely nothing. And I'm tired of it, to be honest. And I think that if we want to win the league, we will not win the league playing like this. And we will not win the league playing this setup, bro, with Ødegaard and Zubimendi. We need something to change. Because it's been the last couple performances where I've been seeing the same issues over and over again. And when it's the same issue, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the opponents that are neutralizing you. It's you doing it to yourself. And I also had another thought. I was thinking maybe because we have so much depth, so much quality, and we've rotated the squad so much, could that possibly be affecting the chemistry and the synergy of our team? Because our starting lineup is constantly changing. So just something to think about. But moving on to the front line, I thought Saka was incredible. I thought Trossard was quite good. Not his best game, but I thought he was good. Gyökeres was decent as well, to be fair to him. Obviously scored the penalty. But nobody can tell me that Gabriel Jesus, after he came on, didn't look way better and way sharper than Victor Gyökeres. And I'm telling you, moving forward, we need to start this Gabriel Jesus guy, because he is going to bring us to the Premier League title. He just looks so much more comfortable with our team. He looks like he links up with them so much better. He knows how to play with them. And Gyökeres, I'm sorry, but he's not good enough for us to warrant changing our whole play style to feed him for. And that's just the honest truth. I'm not going to sit here and say he gets so much service. I think a lot of the times the service he gets is way better than he makes it look, because he'll chase a ball and he'll start fucking tripping over himself. And even when he does get the ball, he's not good enough to retain the ball. He's too slow. He's too clunky. And like I said just now, he's not good enough for us to warrant changing our whole playstyle for. You know, if it was like a prime Suarez or a prime striker Ronaldo, then fair, we would have to change our system. But Gyökeres is not good enough to warrant that. And I think that these are some of the big changes that we need to see before before we want to really start talking about the Premier League title, because Man City are biting our asses right now. They're cooking right now, and they look scary. They look way better than we do. So these issues really need to be sorted out. Otherwise, the Premier League title is just going to keep slipping more and more away from our grasp. Because I know we're in first, but fucking hell, we've been making it hard for ourselves. Let's just say that. But anyway, folks, that's all I have time for today. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give it a thumbs up anyway. Make sure you hype the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.